Sup with it guys, you got Expert Name here, back again for my week 4 team building video up against TJ. He has a team of Mew, Kommo-o, Megatita, Porygon 2, Vaporeon, Bombi, Donphan, Savali, Scavalier, Garbodor, Gourgeist, and Moltres. Very slow, very defensive team as you can see. I definitely expect him to be bringing a lot of bulk here, probably defensive Mew. I honestly expected defensive Kommo-o, although he might have seen he used to try something similar last week and opted against it. Spadef, T-Tar for Deoxys maybe, a P2, Vaporeon, and then probably like one offensive threat between like Scavalier or Moltres. He might bring Donphan as well into the mix to try to beat hazards, but I think Defog on Mew is more likely since Mew threatens Roserade a bit more heavily. So yeah, we'll just jump into the team with that in mind. We've got Landorus here with Yache Berry, Earthquake, Swords Dance, Knock, Explosion. Yache Berry is to try to take a Ice Beam from Porygon 2 or Mew, something like that. I expect them to be more likely to want to Ice Beam me than to Wisp in the case of Mew. He might go for Wisp, but yeah, I was considering Sub for that reason, but I didn't want to Sub up and then catch an Ice Beam and lose the Sub immediately, so I opted for Explosion instead. Explosion's going to give me a real good nuke option if I'm low on health, or if I do like say 40% or something and then just want to be able to finish it off to clear the path to another one of my sweepers. Earthquake hits pretty much his entire team. It doesn't really hit the Moltres or Gourgeist, but Knockoff can do a fair bit to them anyway. And then yeah, I've just got the Explosion to nuke something. So yeah, 208 speed is enough speed to outspeed the max speed Kommo-o. I can't outspeed a max speed Mew anyway, so I'm not really bothering with that. And yeah, I don't expect them to bring a lot of speed anyway, so I can definitely just kind of abuse that to try to deal a lot of damage. I'm definitely bringing a lot of offense this week, as you'll see. Next up is Deoxys Speed, the classic set, Nasty Plot, Focus Blast, Dark Pulse, Psychic this week. So yeah, Nasty Plot is obviously going to be my main way of setting up to break through the team. It's worked well in the past, I expect it to work well in this matchup too. Z Focus Blast, I don't need Z Focus Blast to kill the Megatita necessarily. If I'm at +2, I can just hit him with Focus Blast. If he's for death, then it needs to have a little bit of chip, but not much. But I'll probably still click the Z anyway because I have atrocious luck with the Focus Blast. So between the P2 and the Megatita, I'll just Focus Blast whichever comes in first. I don't need to really worry too much about the P2 as long as I can hit 2 Focus Blasts in a row on it for the Z. Because even if he chooses to Thunder Wave me, I'm still going to be outspeeding with this speed investment. And as you can see, I am max speed timid just so that I can outspeed him max speed Mew after webs in case he wants to bring that. So I've got the option to hit him hard with that. Not that I expect he'll bring offensive Mew. If he brings offensive Mew, he'll definitely want Soft Boil to be a defensive check against some stuff. And he'll want to bring coverage for the Incineroar, and he'll also want coverage for the Metagross, which means that he would be Psychic Stabless, or he won't have coverage for both of them if he wants to bring Setup plus Soft Boiled. So not too worried about that. Next up, I'm bringing in Choice Specs Roserade. This is going to be quite a strong wall breaker. Giga Drain does a lot to most of his team. Extra Sentries for the Kommo-o. I know I get Dazzling Gleam, but Extra Sentry is going to be enough to kill it with minimal chip anyway. That's just like one Spike or Rock switch in. And Extra Sentry means that I have a way of hitting the Moltres at all, and then just Hidden Power Fire, so I've got a way of dealing with an Escavalier, which I expect will likely be potentially Assault Vest. So what the plan here is to force switches out of like Vaporeon or something, or the Donphan, and just set up a T-Spike and start toxicking his team a bit, and then whenever I come in next, I'm going to be able to deal a hefty hit as long as I predict correctly. I wanted to bring something like a Life Orb, but Life Orb isn't actually going to be enough to get a fair few key KOs that I need, so I am bringing the Choice Specs instead. Next up is just a kind of bulky offensive Metagross with leftovers. This is going to be my rocker, and I definitely need the rocks, otherwise Moltres is going to be a huge problem for me. I don't have a flying resist outside of Metagross, so Metagross obviously doesn't want to switch in on fire moves. So keeping up rocks is going to be very important. Rocks up means that I can get a fair few kills on the Moltres with most of my Pokemon. Zen Headbutt means that I can hit the Kommo-o. This is going to be my main Kommo-o check because I do resist the dragon moves. Meteor Mash is going to be a primary stab. It's going to be my way of hitting Mega T-Tar, and it's going to be giving me attack boost ideally. And then a Hidden Power Fire just because this is going to be also my primary check to Escavalier, especially if Incineroar goes down. Incineroar's dark typing means that I'm not going to be switching into Mega Horns all that easily, especially if they're banded. So I wanted to have a secondary option for that in Metagross as well. And yeah, Meteor Mash is also going to be hitting Mew and stuff pretty hard. So next up we have an Assault Vest Incineroar. This is going to be quite nice for Mew, especially if it's offensive. It's going to be kind of dealing with Kommo-o's playing scale set in a sense that it's not gonna, it's going to be able to switch in and then pivot out potentially. Knockoff is just so that I can get rid of items such as Rocky Helmets that I expect them to want to spam a bit, and Leftovers. Fire Punch for the Escavalier. I don't want to be taking Recoil because this isn't going to be breaking anything anyway. U-turn for the Momentum, and then just Drain Punch, so I've got a way of trading the Mega T-Tire and giving me some recovery in the process. Just some sand stuff. The Assault Vest is mostly going to be for the Moltres as well. Gives me a Fire Resist, which I expect it's going to want to be spamming a lot. And then also like check to Gourgeist and Ribombee as well. So it's definitely going to be a pretty solid blanket check to come in on a lot of stuff. And then finally is the Kangaskhan Mega. Scrappy here so that I can start setting up power-up punches on a potential Gourgeist ring. The other abilities don't do much, but as you can see, I'm going to be rocking Max for Death Kangaskhan here. This set allows me to 1v1 a Rifle Moltres with Wish Protect. Fire Blast does like about 39% from that set. And it's just going to give me the longevity needed to set up and win. With Power Up Punch, I'm getting +2 attack every single time I hit something. Wish Protect is going to keep me healthy from the any chips that they want to put on me with Rocky Helmet or attacks that they're delivering. And then I've got Facade here because I highly think he's going to bring something like a Wisp Mew or a T-Wave Porygon 2 to try to check this a bit more. So that's just going to help my Facades power up a bit. The only things I really need to watch out for are the Kommo-o if that's like offensive, the Escavalier to an extent because it kind of walls me, and the Gourgeist for similar reasons. But outside of that, I'm going to be able to come in on a lot, and I'm going to be able to set up fairly easily with the Power Up Punch. And Kangaskhan's got a good enough attack stat that it's going to be able to do some pretty solid damage naturally without setup anyway. So I'm not too worried about not dealing enough damage in the interim. And I've got plenty of other options to deal a lot of damage without this. I was also considering bringing a Alolan Ninetales over this set, just to help give my Pokemon some extra setup opportunities with Aurora Veil. I feel like you'd have some pretty difficult times breaking through my team with Veil up, and it would also help against the Moltres and Escavalier attack spam. But in the end, I decided that Kangaskhan's going to be more effective. The Alolan Ninetales is going to have to worry about the Mega T-Tar, which means that I'd probably want to bring Hail to ensure that I get the Veil up. But I also definitely wanted Hidden Power Fire, Moonblast, and Freeze Dry. So I suppose I could have brought Moonblast to just try to chip away the Mega T-Tar, but then it would be taking bits of the Veil, etc. And I just thought that Kangaskhan would be better in the end. But yeah, that's the team, guys. I'm going to be playing the game in a few hours, I believe. So yeah, I'll be uploading that shortly after the game plays. So you'll probably see this within like half an hour after uploading this video if all things go according to plan. So yeah, see you guys.